All right, YouTube. Hey, it's been a long freaking time since I did one of these, boy. We freaking back at it again, you know what I'm saying? This topic is going to be a little bit of an interesting topic because this is sort of talking. I hope I'm not looking. Oh, that girl right behind me. I ain't trying to get in the scene like that. Topic of discussion we got for today, y'all. By the way, welcome back to the channel. It is Rocco, of course. I do not have. I think I can show y'all my fit. Let me show y'all my fit right quick. Hold on. Dang, how far back I gotta stand. Oh yeah, y'all can't even see it for real. It is what it is, man. We are back in the DMV, y'all. Back in the DMV. It feel good. It feel really good because I have not been here in a freaking while, y'all. So feels good to be back. Feels good to be back in DC, Maryland, Virginia. And that boy better not be making too much freaking noise, but I'm trying to record a video, y'all. There's like construction behind y'all. So probably gonna hear it. I don't know yet. But this video is going to be sort of like a branch off of the other video I made. And that was my first video on my channel. If you haven't watched that, y'all go check it out. The topic that I'm gonna talk about in this video is specifically trends, or like just trends in general, why they just be ruining fashion, right? So this might be a sensitive topic to some of y'all because this is my personal opinion. This is like my honest take on it. This whole fashion trend thing is single-handedly ruining trends, just in general, just be ruining fashion. I'm gonna point blank say that. And somebody who comes from streetwear culture, I can understand why people follow trends because I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna get into it. But today, we do have my notorious iPhone freaking 11 for my notes this time because my other video had that blue sticky note that I'm not trying to bring back. Look bougie out here. I'm trying to actually be presentable and stuff, but we are gonna get into this video. Honestly, again, this is my personal opinion. If y'all wanna disagree with me, y'all really could. I could not care less. Like the genuine things I nitpick and the things that I notice when it comes to this fashion trend and like people not really knowing what they like, they just following it for the trend. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. Yeah, that's better. Damn, y'all see the nice scenery. The first thing I do want to touch upon when it does come to like trends, like there are pros and cons to trends. I will say that 100% there are. The issue that I personally have, I find that there are more cons than there are pros when it comes to trends. Again, if you have not seen my last video, I was touching upon things that you should look out for when you're first getting into fashion, right? Things that you should pay attention to. And I did come across one point, and that point was inspiration. The only thing I will say with inspiration is if you do have, like you are looking at it in the wrong perspective, there's a high likelihood that you are gonna fall into this trend of doom and all this. I am saying that there are more cons than pros. The pros, I will say, if you are someone who is new, honestly, you don't even really gotta be new to fashion. But if you're just somebody who wants to get the inspiration, trends necessarily aren't a bad thing. You know, you are being introduced to stuff, right, that you might not even be exposed or familiar with. So I wouldn't say it's really a bad thing. It becomes a bad thing, right, when you keep bandwagoning and hopping from one thing to the next thing. That is essentially how trends become trends, because you are hopping from one thing to the next thing. Now, when you get introduced to something that's new, something that you're not really too familiar with, you know, it gives you that idea. It kind of tests you to see, is this something that you like or something that you don't like, which is okay. That's cool, right? If you are just exploiting trends, I would say, or just exploiting hype, that means your entire wardrobe is basically based off of what people are saying is hot, and then it just builds your wardrobe into some pieces of clothing that people will say is no longer in style. This is the issue I have with this. You will now basically become someone who is going to bandwagon every single thing that somebody says on the media just because they say it's trending or they say it's hype. So essentially, in the wrong hands, trends are bad because to the closed-minded people, they will keep following whatever people say to them. I mean, that's kind of just the reality of it, right? It does make fashion move relatively fast because, again, you're always chasing the next best thing to the point where you don't really know what you like for yourself anymore, right? And that can ruin self-expression. I stress on self-expression a lot because you need to figure out what you like for yourself. It shouldn't be what someone is telling you is hot, someone telling you this thing is dying. It shouldn't be along those lines. That, I feel like, that's a good transition to my next point. Self-expression is always going to beat any type of trend. Any type of trend you could think of, self-expression is always going to beat that. This is a con which I'm honestly going to have its own separate segment for, and that is the self-expression part. Unfortunately, trends completely kill someone's self-expression because now they're just following whatever somebody's saying. That is like the biggest self-expression killer. You know, no matter what exactly is in season, as people will say, in season, in fashion season or whatnot, you should still enjoy whatever the heck it is that you want to put on, bro. Whether it's streetwear, again, it could be anything. Whether you like wearing suits and ties a lot, I don't know. You want to wear, if you're a female, you want to wear like sundresses all the time. Bro, go ahead and wear that stuff, right? The whole trending thing and like people telling you, you gotta wear this and then do X, Y, and Z. And bro, that is completely killing like self-expression, because nobody should ever tell you what you should and shouldn't wear. And at the same time, nobody should tell you this is out of season and this is not. This is out of style and this is not. This is why with some, I hope y'all don't hear that. Most content creators out there, they always say, oh, best trending things in 2026, or best, you know, obviously you could put any year on it, 2020, 2021, 22, 23, you know, what's in season, what's not in season. That should not, you get what I'm saying? That should not dictate at all any in which way or form that you dress at. It should only help you figure out if what is being introduced to you, whether it's through media, whether it's through friends, whether it's freaking on newspapers or whatnot, only give you the idea of, oh, is this something that I do like, or is it something that I don't like, right? And again, cool, if it is something that you genuinely do like and is being introduced to, go ahead and buy it and wear it faithfully and wear it to show that you genuinely like it, even when it's out of season. Who cares? Wear it. There are things that, because I've fallen victim to it. You want to know the prime example of that is Vlone, Bape, and Supreme. Those big three, when they were out in like the, you know, like 2016, 2017, up until like the COVID area, I fell for that trend, right? I fell for that trend because I was like, oh, everybody wearing the cool V on their back. You know, I want to be cool like them. I want to, you know what I'm saying? I want to be a Vlone soldier. Ever since that trend died down with the whole Vlone, Bape, and Supreme stuff, bro, I have not worn that stuff. It's just in my closet collecting dust. I don't know. I just never had no appeal to it. The reason I am speaking about this is because it wasn't really a self-expression. You know what I'm saying? It was the trend that took that self-expression away from me. It wasn't even self-expression because I genuinely don't like the pieces. It's funny because I even told my homeboy like a couple months ago, I'm like, yo, you want my Vlone shirt? He like, how much you selling it for? I said, I'm gonna just give it to you for free. I don't even know if I like the thing anymore. I'm gonna just give it to you for free. No price, nothing. And I spent like $100-something on it and I don't even want it. It's something I fell for. Every time I look at that Vlone and that Bape situation that I had way back before COVID, it reminds me that I was closed-minded at one point and I wasn't being self-expressive because I was letting the trend take over. You get what I'm saying? So no matter what season it is, what they're telling you on the media is hot and what's not, please, for the love of God, just wear what you want to wear. Me saying something earlier about that fashion does move fast. Fashion in general does move fast. Unfortunately, in this day and age, in this economy, it's moving even faster. It's moving even faster now. If I were to just give y'all the straightforward reason as to why fashion moves faster, one is because of media, and two, it is also because of trend, right? But I would feel like they work hand in hand, like they work pretty much together to push fashion to go faster. The reason I already say fashion is fast, again, related to fashion shows, big fashion houses, right? You can think of like just simple like Dior, Amiri, Louis Vuitton, Gucci, Balenciaga. These guys have fashion shows twice a year. Spring, summer 2026, and they will have fall, winter 2026. Just as an example of 2026, right? In 6 months, these creative directors have to create something very fast. So already in of itself, fashion is fast. Now with the mainstream media, fashion is way faster. Why? Again, because we are all on social media now, right? We all have access to seeing things not only locally but globally. That kind of makes it operate even faster than what it is, because everybody remembers Y2K. It is one of my favorite fashion styles. Y2K was out from like the late 90s up until like maybe the mid 2000s, right? That's kind of when they started transitioning into like the late 2000s, the, you know, the 2010s type of fashion, right? That's when they transitioned to it. The time length from Y2K, 7 to 8 years it lasted. Look at how fast trends are kicking in nowadays. If I were to give you all another example of how trends kick in fast, look at how fast the Labubu trend died. Look at how fast that AP swatch thing. I got a lot of these ideas also from Bladed Angel. If y'all don't know him, he's a YouTuber that does like epidemics on like overconsumption and like car payments and all that stuff. So I seen his video on the scalper epidemic and the overconsumption epidemic. Media consumption and media production is just so highly polluted that no matter what someone posts out there, it can go viral any second, any minute. And then that's what makes the trend start and will make the trend die fast. Labubu's literally had this period in time where it trended enough to where it died within a year. Right? Now, if we're talking about fashion, for example, I can talk to you about the Lanvin sneaker, the curb sneakers, right? Y'all don't know what I'm talking about. Lanvin, right? The Lanvin, the big curvy boat-looking shoes, the shoes that got the big old laces. I personally got the pair. I got the OG colorway, right? The white with the green, yellow, and red laces. From what I know about it, that shoe was trending, I believe, at the end of COVID, so like 2020 up until maybe like 23 or 22, right? Roughly into that era. It is 2026 in August. I still have my Lanvin shoe. I still wear it faithfully. I don't really see a lot of people wearing it. That is a shoe that I personally like. I understand the shoe has inspiration from the, you know, Osiris D3, the skateboard shoe, the chunky shoe looking thing. Me personally, I do like the way the Lanvins fit. I like the comfort, everything about that shoe. That's why I bought it over the D3. This is a definition of a trend being introduced to you because it's something that you have not seen before, you have not been exposed to yet, but it's still benefiting you. You get what I'm saying? That's the point of that, because it is something I genuinely personally like, and it's something I'll keep wearing until that thing falls apart. It ain't rocket science now, is it? If you see how fast that trend died, yo, these fashion trends, they move fast. Easy for someone to make it start and end quick. That's just the reality of it, yo. With that also being said, this is also a big topic too I want to talk about. Capitalism. If you know, obviously, what the basic definition of capitalism is, I can't even say the word right, man. But if you know the basic, like, general definition of capitalism, it's basically just businesses trying to push out production, push out anything to consumers that make the money. And they will literally, like, at that point, they will betray all morals. They will abandon all morals just to make money, bro. Now, how in the world does that affect fashion? So let me tell y'all this. I recently been to H&M, Zara, PacSun, even Zoomies, right? There was something I noticed in the way that they hold clothes to sell to the consumer, right? Their stock essentially is what I pay attention to. Their stock, what they have in stock. Every time I go to these stores, these commercial stores, they always have baggy clothes. And then it makes you wonder, why do they always have baggy clothes? Because that's trending at the moment. From what I know, it is trending and it is still trending. It's the same thing with the rhinestone stuff. Again, I got rhinestones on my hat, right? I've been had rhinestones on my hat since 2024, early 2025, and then it became a problem, right? I'm not gonna get into this topic because this whole rhinestone thing is becoming a trend, is becoming like in style. Now you got them people that, you know, them commercial retail stores that are basically pushing those rhinestones in the stores. Why? Because they know that the people who are closed-minded, the people who like trends, they will buy their products. Buying their products does what for the business? It makes them money. Why wouldn't the business want to do that? Why wouldn't they consider pumping out things that trend to the consumers, make it accessible and make it available to consumers so they can buy it? It's going to make them money. Obviously, you know, it still has that negative side towards like the workers. You know, they're going to basically pay the wages of the workers very minimal, basically slavery, like sweatshops, right? Sweatshops in Asia. Then they're going to produce the quality, the quality of material, the quality of clothing that they're going to produce in their stores. They're going to sell it to people and they make profit from it, right? It's basically your profit margin, how much it takes to make versus how much it takes to what? Essentially sell it and make a profit. That's your margin. They will do that and pump out the trend onto you, right? These commercial brands, bro, they're not stupid. I'm gonna tell y'all that they're not stupid because they're also seeing the same trends that you see on your TikTok feed. They see the same trends they see on YouTube, on whoever is speaking about it. They see the same stuff. So they're like, we gotta catch on to that too. Right? Again, this is a con again in of itself because these commercial stores essentially take away your creativity by only releasing what they want you to see, what they want you to buy, rather than them showing just a whole plethora of different things. Like there is this one store in the DMV, because I am in the DMV right now, right? There's this one store, I think it's in Montgomery County, right? It's called Akira. Obviously it's a women's store. It's a women's fashion store. It's not for men, right? They kind of hold a variety of clothing, no matter what the freaking trend is. You know, they give you variety, right? But 9 times out of 10, them commercial clothing stores, they are not going to give you that. They will not give you that variety because they only want you to fixate on what's trending at the moment. Trust me, you even go into some stores, right? Some commercial retail stores, what are the subsections they have in that store? Sometimes it'll say what's hot, what's trending, new in style, new in this. Why do they tell you that? Because they are telling you it's a trend, man, and they want you to basically fall for it because, hey, you're a consumer, you don't know nothing better, you don't know how to dress anyway, so just buy what we're selling you in the store. That kills your creativity right there. Even with that being said, the capitalism and stuff, if you really all tie it down together, capitalism, media, and trends, 3 of them single-handedly, they can all kill fashion. But it honestly just stems from the trending part. You're not going to see businesses exploiting it. Without the trend, media isn't going to speak about it. So it has to start from somewhere. And what is that? Someone basically just whipping out their freaking backside. You know, these pants are no longer in stock. You know, and this is one thing I hate about some content creators. I'm a press y'all. To all of y'all who be saying, oh, these pants are no longer in style, or these shoes are no longer in style anymore. It don't work that way. Let me tell y'all this. Y'all that be saying that type of stuff are basically the blind leading the blind, okay? Because I'm gonna look at that in the eye, right? If we were to end on the fashion trends that we so-called are on now, right? If we were to end on, let me give y'all an example. If we were to end on the quarter zips, the rhinestones, and even I even seen some lady on the internet that was saying sneakers are no longer in fashion. sneakers. So what y'all want me to do? Go outside barefooted? That how that make any sense. If we were to end on rhinestones and we were to end on quarter zips, and there was no other person in the world that had the ability to say the next trend that's going on, how would that happen? Obviously, you cut media off. Y2K lasted a long time because we didn't have all this media and all this people telling you stuff. It's just people wearing what they like to wear. Media came in, pushed the agenda of trends, makes trends move faster. So let's say you completely disregard and kick that out of the equation. What do you think is gonna happen to most MFs out there that been following these trends? You take those trends away from them, what you think is gonna happen to them? They're not gonna know how to dress. They're gonna dress like bums. They're gonna dress like literal Power Rangers and clones because they were just following what other people were telling them to wear. And now that nobody telling them, what the heck are they gonna wear? Think about that for a second, right? Have that open-mindedness, have that ability to be creative again, because I keep freaking stressing that. And I don't know how many times I gotta stress that, but be creative in the way that you want to create your style. Of course, inspiration doesn't hurt. Just make sure you're not one of them people that are the blind being led by the blind. Don't be those types of people, man. I'm telling you, trust me, you will reach a point, because I reached that point where I look into my wardrobe and I say to myself, why the heck did I buy this? Why in the world did I spend my hard-earned money on this? Right? You will have that realization eventually. Y'all, this is honestly my rant. This is kind of my 2 cents on this whole trends and like with media and overconsumption and all this, you know, people just being closed-minded and everything, right? Hey man, again, feels freaking amazing. Feels good to be back in the DMV. Oh my gosh, I miss this place so much, y'all. Yeah, man, I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Again, this is honestly just my humble opinion on some things. If y'all completely disagree with me, go ahead. But I hope that in some part of your brain, I am changing your mind on the way that you view this stuff, because it's not as easy as you think it is, straightforward and point blank as people think it is. Leave it in the comments, you know, like, comment, and subscribe. I don't like saying that type of stuff in YouTube videos, but you know what I'm saying? I guess just, you know, like, comment, subscribe. Tell me what you guys think about it. For those of y'all who use trends the right way, you will build a wardrobe that you genuinely will open every single day and be like, oh, I love this. Versus someone who's closed-minded and opens their wardrobe and is like, ah, shoot, I just been following trends for 10 years. I have a whole 10-year, you know, wardrobe of just stuff I don't even like anymore because you were following the trends, right? So be the type of person on the other side and say, hey, I'm gonna build a wardrobe that I genuinely like with clothes and pieces that I like. Of course, keep it you know, just be you about it. And with that being said, I'm gonna see y'all in the next video. I don't freaking know when that's gonna be. I have no idea when that's gonna be, but hey man, y'all stay up and stay fly.